Yeah, I think, we took it up until yesterday, and I think both guys are going through their programs, and ultimately we just didn't feel comfortable enough that both guys were gonna be able to go out and deliver 80 plus pitches and starting roles and pitch the way they're capable of. And I think we're also just kind of looking at both short term and long term, and I think ultimately, sitting down with our medical team and staff and the individual players, just got to the point where, going to look more towards next week, keep progressing, keep seeing if we can make progress, and we'll reevaluate if ultimately we're able to get a couple wins here.
What is the decision then as far as starters for games number 2 and game number 3 at this point?
Yeah, so Zach Davies will start in game 2. Then 3, I think honestly it'll be all hands on deck, and I think we'll kind of see how the first 2 games play out. Then make a decision if we get to that point for a third game. I literally just swallowed a fly, but there's been a mosquito buzzing around. But yeah, we'll go through. For game 3, I think that was part of the reason why we put the 14 pitchers on the roster. We've got a lot of options, a lot of guys we trust and believe in, and it literally would be a staff type bullpen outing and go from there.
As far as choosing to go with Luis Campusano, just a right-handed bat off the bench for you guys against a left-handed dominant bullpen possibly?
Yeah, I think Campy, again, I think having the third catcher was something that Jason and the staff talked about. Also a right-hand bat off the bench. He's been swinging the bat in the alternate site, coming back from the wrist hand issue, and our staff feels good with him from a health standpoint. And obviously we just got the one game at the big league level, hit the home run there in Oakland, but he's been swinging the bat well, and the alternate site gives us another option both behind the plate and as a right-hand hitter off the bench.
Last one for me, if you don't mind. As far as the extended roster that you have, we also saw Mackenzie Gore on there and Ryan Weathers as well. Apparently you feel comfortable that either one of those young lefties would be able to step into a playoff situation and help you out right away?
Yeah, I think we think highly of both Ryan and Mackenzie, and they've had some experiences in terms of pitching in these alternate sites, seeing some of our big league guys from the COVID camp progressing throughout the summer. And, we're at the point, anybody that's on this 40-man roster, I think the message internally to those players has been be ready. And I think it's obviously not for, the 12 guys that are not on for this round. But going forward, I think everybody's a possibility here going forward if we're able to advance. It literally is I think it's kind of a day-to-day thing. And I think, the biggest thing is the player tells you, I think we've got the medical opinion about what they feel like that the diagnosis is and what they can do, what they need to do going forward. And then the player, tells us by the way they're able to handle, things in the training room, how they're feeling, definitely how they're throwing. Mike threw a bullpen yesterday and threw 25 or so pitches. Dinelson 2 days ago had a pretty aggressive throwing program as well. And I think when, it legitimately is going to be a day-to-day situation. So I see some of the reports today that, people are out or they're not out. We're not looking at it that way. We're literally, I think our message to our players is, we come in every single day, we reassess, we reevaluate, and they've had some good days in a row. And then from that point forward, we kind of determine what's the best thing possible. And we just made the decision for them basically here for this series, both for the short term and long term. The best thing was not to put them on the roster. A lot of faith in our other guys and our other pitchers and players. And I think we'll take the weekend and kind of reevaluate where they're at if we're able to advance to the next round.
Thanks, AJ.
AJ Caswell.
AJ, what is the next step for each of them? Because Clevinger threw his bullpen, Lamet threw it 120 or whatever a couple days ago. What are they doing today, and what's the plan for them potentially tomorrow, and how might it change?
Yeah, I think they're both. I think they both come in every single day. They've got separate plans, honestly. I think with again, it's that combination of some days it's catch play. Some days they're working on the different pitch types that they have. Some days they'll get on a mound and try to throw off the mound. And I think it's just literally where they're at in the process. So I think with I think over the course of the next few days we'll know a lot more information as we keep going. But I think the idea for us right now is come in, get treatment, assess where you're at, go on the field and do some type of throwing program, whether that's catch play or be more aggressive in a pen session, and then see where it goes. We're not at a point where we need to see 60 pitches in a bullpen or 50 pitches in a bull. I mean, these guys have thrown all year. They're in good shape. Their arms are in good shape. It's not as much of that. I think it's literally a situation where we feel like from where they are from a health standpoint, an effectiveness standpoint, that they're in a good place, and that literally would be every single day their program will be a little bit different.
For Clevinger to have thrown a bullpen yesterday, though, that could have lined him up for the end of the series. What specifically prevented that from happening?
Yeah, and we just made the decision at the end of the day that we just didn't feel like he was quite ready. And I think again, I think for him, it's just kind of like getting to that point that we feel like we're doing the best thing possible for the player to put him in a spot where, again, we're not looking for the guys to go out there and be less than 100% or not be in a spot that they can perform the way we know they're capable of. And I think we just basically looked at it as a situation where a little bit more rest is going to be helpful and beneficial for them, rather than going out in a playoff situation where honestly the expectation is going to be to go out and throw 80 pitches, 60 plus pitches, whatever number in your mind. That's that doesn't put the team in a bad spot. And ultimately, we got to the point where we just weren't comfortable with that. And, I think I've looked at it and said, hey, a little bit more rest, a little bit more work with our training staff, a little bit more, throwing program type work, that'll be beneficial for them. And let's see what we come up with here in the next couple of days. And hopefully we're lucky enough to move on and they become, even stronger options here going forward.
Hey, AJ, you had the diagnosis for Clevinger kind of evolved from the initial bicep tightness he was feeling to the impingement. What's your understanding right now of what Lamet has been dealing with? Is it still bicep tightness for him, or just recovering from that and trying to bounce back from that?
Yeah, I think it's, talking about, still with Lamet, pretty similar type diagnosis that we've been at all along, which is, again, I think kind of looking at the that bicep, distal tricep, muscular tightness. Obviously, when you get in that area, you're always kind of considering the ligament. He had the repair probably about 3 years ago or so now, but really nothing's changed in the diagnosis for both guys. We've had plenty of conversation with our training staff, doctors, daily conversation with doctors, other opinions, just to make sure we're not we're covering all of our bases and we're giving these guys the best possible information. Again, I think, when you're dealing at times with arm situations, there is some gray area, but I think in this case, at least for us, it's been pretty consistent overall, the diagnosis with both guys. And I think it's just a matter of kind of seeing how they feel over the course of the next few days. And I think a lot of times our doctors will say it. They can have they can give their opinion, their advice, and obviously there's a lot of experience, a lot of good doctors that are out there. But ultimately, you treat the individual. So I think that's the position we've been in, and I think that's what we'll continue to do here as we get through the weekend, and hopefully look towards what the next steps are for them.
Has Dinelson gone for an MRI or any additional scans since those first couple of days?
Yeah, I think for us, like we've been very thorough. So I don't want to get into specifics on exactly what's going on. That's their health situation. I think there's definitely some privacy there, but I can just tell you we've been very thorough. We haven't, we've made sure that we've covered all of our bases. We followed the advice of the doctors in terms of what they would need to make their decisions on kind of where things are at. We've been thorough, feel good about the information we've gotten. It really is a situation where he'll kind of dictate to us over the course of the next few days. I think we're comfortable that that he's in a spot like he's been doing. He's been going out there and he's been going out and playing catch and feeling good, reporting that he's feeling good. He's throwing the ball well, at least on the field when we've seen it. But we've been complete with our evaluation and all the information that we want to make sure that we're putting them in the best spot possible. And it really does come down to how they're doing, how they're feeling, and how close they're going to be to 100%. Over the course of the next few days.
Next, we'll go to Marty Caswell.
Hi, AJ. Is Garrett Richards an option to start at all? If not, why not? And how did that fly taste?
Yeah, I think right now if we got to a Game 3 situation, it is the proverbial all hands on deck. I think everybody's an option. Obviously, there's going to be other guys that there's going to be probably a couple people or a handful of people that Jason, Larry look at, but it legitimately will be like, we get to Friday and, kind of see how the first 2 games went, see who we use, see who we needed to use, see what, how the lineups are stacking up, and then make a decision. So I think right now at this point, pretty much everybody, I think on the 14 staff that we put together, pitching staff, I think the message to all those guys is going to be ready, and I think Garrett will be one of those options, but I'll leave that up to Jason, Larry, and we'll kind of, if we have to do it, we'll figure it out. Fly, just fair, honestly. So.